Okay, so I'm sorry for the delay. It's 5:05 PM on Monday, November 3rd. For the rescheduled meeting, because tomorrow we have the bond vote. And we're open for the polls until 7. And then next Tuesday is the Veterans Day holiday. So we're having our meeting today. Our next meeting will be back as a regular scheduled meeting on Tuesday, the 18th. So we are calling the meeting to order. We're welcoming our guests. If you would like to speak, please just address the chair and state your name for the record. We have we have a little amendment to the agenda, which is also approving the minutes of Tuesday, October 7th, which were not signed. I'm not even sure if we actually approved them.
I didn't see
So,
that.
so these were, this was the meeting that you were the chair of. And so I can't approve that. So, the people who were here were Zara, Stacy, Larry, and Paul. So we've got those minutes. We also have the minutes of Tuesday, October 14th at the Culvert walkthrough. Those can only be approved by Liz, Zara, and Paul because we were the only board members there. And then we have the meeting minutes of Tuesday, October 21st, where we were all there except for Stacy, and that was just our last meeting. And then we have to approve today's agenda for November 3rd. So is there a motion to approve the minutes of Tuesday, October 7th?
I will move that.
Okay, Paul moves. Is there a second? Larry,
I'll second it. I'll
Okay,
second.
Larry. All right, so all those in favor of approving the October 7th meeting, say aye.
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 And Stacy, you were also there.
No, she
No,
wasn't.
she was.
Oh, she's checked off that she was, but she wasn't. Okay.
I was gonna say I'm approving I'll approve the minutes if I was there, but I don't think I was there and I don't want to.
Okay, so she wasn't there. So that's a quorum, right? 3?
Yeah.
So I abstain and Stacy abstains. Okay, so the minutes pass for October 7th. For Tuesday, October 14th, the field trip for the box culverts, is there a motion to approve that agenda?
I'll move that.
Okay, Paul moves. Is there a second?
You mean minutes?
Yeah, minutes rather.
I second.
Okay, Zara approves the minutes. Is a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Stacy and Larry abstain. Okay, and then we have the Tuesday, October 21st minutes. Which is our last meeting where we talked about the wage bands, and all that. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Zara moves. Is there a second?
I will second.
Okay, Paul seconds. All those in favor of those minutes say aye for October 21st.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then Stacy also abstains. Okay, now we are at the point of the Monday, November 3rd agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda besides adding the extra minutes?
We didn't want to stop sign now, stop sign next time.
I have that on here, changing a yield sign to a stop sign.
Great, looks awesome to me. I make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second for said motion of approving the minutes?
I'll second it.
Okay, Larry seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Yes, Stacy, you're allowed to vote. Yay. Okay, alrighty, so now we are at the highway report and FEMA roadwork update from Eric and Zara. And then we will go on to some of the issues we're having with Old Brook Road, and looks like Dexter, you're here, maybe you can speak to some of that. I'll give a little update on the morning meeting we have with Dirt Tech to talk about the culverts. And then finally, talking about changing a yield sign to a stop sign at the intersection of Molly and Center Road, with action likely. Alrighty, so Eric did send us a road update, a bi-weekly road update, so I wanna take that
Sure.
away.
As far as equipment is concerned, we're in pretty good shape. Plow equipment's been going on. Our winter sand is done. Paving was completed today for Shady Rail and McCullough Hill. And that's where we're at with that.
Right. And probably with the government shutdown, we still have no movement on FEMA.
No movement on FEMA. We did have approval for 34720 projects. To extend those to July 14th to get the work done. And that's McCullough Hill, Lower Sunnybrook, and the third one. Norton.
So July of this last year.
So July of this upcoming
Oh,
year,
this
it's our,
year.
14th is our new deadline and
Oh.
last deadline to get those 3 projects done. As you know, things got held up when we reached, $10 million worth of debt. We put a hold on
And that's for 4720 for the
that for
2023
the
flood.
2023 floods, yeah.
Norton, McCullough, and
Lower Sunnybrook.
Lower, thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And I do have a little list for you, Carol, so it doesn't, I've got a little write-up. We do have the 100% completed roads that Cheryl had, put a question in because they were only paying us 90%. We're in the process, of doing paperwork with our state rep so that we can get the rest of that. And then, we're really in good shape for 2024, 4810. The only project not obligated is Brook Road. And the only projects not really completed are McCullough and Norton. It's just some minor things that need to be done, as well as unfortunately Old Brook, which we'll talk about. And then we've got a couple of things to go out. But anyway, I've got everything written out and I'll give that to you, Carol. Something we can post on the board.
Okay, any questions for Zara on that? Okay, thank you, Zara. So if someone, I don't know who would best be, maybe you, Dexter, can explain.
Where you're at on Old Brook?
Yeah, where
Yep.
we're dealing with Old Brook. I know we have
Okay.
a gentleman here who lives on Old Brook. I forget your name, sir.
Larry Clement.
Larry Clemens, and I think he's here for that, for this topic.
So, we, fast tracked the Old Brook project and had it out to bid, received bids a couple of weeks ago. Low bid being GW Tatro from Jeffersonville for $139,300. They were way under the engineer's estimate. We've questioned them about whether they wanted to commit to that budget, and they have indicated that they'll stand behind that. That will good. We had a total of 15 bidders. The number 2 and number 3 were around 240,000. The rest of the middle was right around the engineer's estimate of 300,000, and there were a couple more that were very high. So it was a successful bid from that standpoint. But it seems that the state has some reservations about approving a design that incorporates GeoGrid.
That incorporates what?
GeoGrid?
What is GeoGrid?
GeoGrid is a synthetic soil reinforcement. And we presented 3 alternatives to the town. In our alternatives analysis, which I brought along, that was
When you say we, do you mean your engineering?
my engineering firm. Yeah, that was back in August. We looked at actually 4 alternatives. 2 with GeoGrid, 1 with all riprap on the face, and the other with synthetic base. on the slope. The other two options were retaining walls. Apparently the stream alteration division, I guess, has never seen an engineered slope or a geogrid design before, so they don't know how to review it. They think they're gonna deny the application, but they haven't made a decision yet. So,
Because it's synthetic.
it's a cutting edge design that they don't feel competent to review.
And why did we go with that? Because it's the best or because it's the cheapest?
It was cheapest. Our estimate was $330,000. The options with the retaining walls were $660,000. So to add the retaining wall, so anyway, I talked to Jaren, who's the reviewer at Stream Alteration, and suggested to him that maybe we could change our design to the retaining wall with a reasonable slope, no geogrid. And he thought that that was something that he couldn't say he could approve it, and he made that clear, but it's something that he's approved before, was what he could say. So, so I think that that's a possible path forward. I've already sized a retaining wall, and done the layout. So we're in a position that we could pull the trigger quickly and modify the design. The complication comes is that we've got a bid out there based on the other design.
Right.
So we would need to negotiate with the contractor to make the change to the retaining wall. And what I'd recommend in this situation is that we negotiate with the 2 or 3 lowest bidders, just to keep the whole process fair and make sure we get a good outcome from the town, from the low bidder.
We don't have to go out to rebid the entire project.
You don't have to, that's an option. The difficulty with that is, we really recommend at least about a 30-day bid period. We did this one in 3 weeks and had good outcomes. So, I mean, that is a possibility, but then we'd have to complete the design, then put it out to bid. And if we're gonna do that, we may wanna wait for Jaren to approve it before we go. It saves a lot of time, I think, by negotiating. And I think time is important in this situation.
So, the plan that you, with the gridlock, what is it called?
GeoGrid?
GeoGrid.
Yeah.
Grid. With the GeoGrid. That plan, they're not going to approve, so that we know.
No, we don't know that.
Oh,
They've indicated that what did they say, Eric?
I'm not sure I can approve it.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so they're not sure they can approve it, so your workaround is to
Go low tech.
go low tech with just sort of modifying the current, what do we call this, a plan? What is this thing called?
We have plans. We would be modifying the design from a GeoGrid to a retaining wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that, we're recommending gets approved by A&R before we go out to bid.
We've
Again,
already-
or that before we go and modify it with the,
I would move
Three
more
lowest bidder.
expeditiously. I would modify the design this week. I would start negotiations with the 3 contractors this week if possible, if not first next week. And at the same time, we have it ready to share with contractors. We would share it with A&R and would hope to get their review and approval quickly.
okay.
So it could all happen at the same time. I don't think we should go step by step.
Okay, I mean, my concern is that, we had trouble with the 6 other culverts. And the A&R is now, really, putting the magnifying glass on us. And I don't, which is fine, but I don't want to be doing something that is gonna end up either not getting approved or that we continue to have findings from A&R. And I mean, what are your thoughts, Paul?
Well, I'm a little, I guess my one question would be how we came to a design that either wasn't approved or wouldn't be approved before we put that design out to bid. I wasn't part of those discussions, and I've got to tread lightly only because I've got a conflict of interest when we get to that point, but it's more a question of overall.
Well, we talked about GeoGrid as an option from our first site visit with Jaren. We told him that, you know, if we could do a 1.5 on one slope, we would. If we had to go steeper, we would use GeoGrid. He had
It's
no
no
issues,
issue.
and we met with him again. And talked about the same thing, and they expressed no reservations. We don't usually, you know, yeah, we usually give the town the choices to pick what they think is best. In this case, GeoGrid's pretty, you know, it's kind of a new technology. I've only been dealing with it for about 10 years. I don't know if you have experience with it.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. I mean, we even, you know, something here at the town,
It's
but
kind of new, and it's just something they're not familiar with as a technology. And they did not express that up front, and so we were surprised. In fact, they haven't actually committed to denying it. You know, there's a lot of, I've had a couple of phone calls and email exchanges with Jaren, and I don't know, he had a lot of misunderstandings about what was going on. And I've sent him some more information. I'm hoping that they approve
did
it.
he give you a timeline, Dexter?
No.
Yes, sir.
And just so you're aware, when Eric and I do our meetings with the state, we've let them know, and they have said that they will also be speaking with A&R and kind of asking them what the holdup is with this and other projects that we feel have taken a long time for them to get back to us, you know, Dexter put this together in August.
Okay, so your recommendation is that this week you offer an alternative, so you'd still have the first option in case they approve it, but then you would sort of design an alternative using traditional, what's the term again?
We were
Stable,
saying low tech, but retaining
tech.
wall.
retaining wall.
Yeah.
And that you reach out to the 3 lowest bidders, because we haven't accepted anything yet.
Right, and the bids are good for 90 days.
Okay,
Plenty
that you
of time
reach out to
sit
the
on it.
3 lowest bidders and say that we're having a problem getting approved by A&R, what would your bid be for this amount? And, I mean, or for this design,
Yeah.
for this design.
Yeah.
Okay, what does everybody think about that? I mean, I don't feel like I'm the person to say that, that's a great idea, I don't know.
I think we need to do something this year. Jaren had said to me, reaching out to V-Trans about a temporary bridge is an option, but I don't know the area, and I don't see that there's I mean, just from what I've looked at once, I don't see how you're gonna do a temporary bridge there.
No,
It would take longer to put that up than it would.
well, they don't, they go up pretty fast, but it would set it up pretty high.
Would be really long too.
Yeah.
We got 110 feet of wall.
But as a third option, maybe we should have V-Trans on deck with a bridge if high-tech, low-tech isn't gonna get approved by A&R.
Well, I've thought about the need to do something, and we do have arrangements with the property owners on the left there to widen the road and make it temporary. For construction, and we could, if worst came to worst. Some of the things I'm thinking is that we could complete the riprap work along the river for a certain distance, we could widen the road, and we could leave the middle open. While they wait for retaining wall, if we have to, so I think there's a lot of options, and I don't know that you need to make a decision, I just feel it good for. The whole select board to be aware of what was going on.
I mean, I'll say I feel confident that this work can still be done.
Mhm.
But, you know, it really could be done throughout the winter, if done correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, we do
The snow doesn't necessarily stop it.
scrape it off and keep going.
Keep going, okay. So do we need to vote to suggest what that,
I
or
don't think
just,
there's
I don't think
anything to
so.
vote on.
I don't think there
No.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, and I think that we just continue to have conversations with A&R and make sure that we're following the procedures that we apparently didn't do such a great job doing with the box culverts. So, okay,
During as a question here.
I'm sorry, who does?
I do.
During that.
Oh, hi, Karen.
My understanding was, and I don't know if it's changed, but some people couldn't get fuel delivery because the truck would not go up their driveway.
I don't know if that's happened or not.
I
He did,
haven't-
Andy had told me that.
So I don't know, I mean, frankly, there's no excuse for this. This happened in April. It's now November. We just went out to bid. I don't like the idea of driving down that road in the winter. I don't care if you widen it or not.
Mhm.
It's unexcusable for what's happened. That is a safety issue. I have a 16-year-old granddaughter that drives down it. I don't like it.
Mhm. I hear you.
Something, I mean, there's no, to Paul's point, but why did we go with a bid that there was any question on? I don't know if Larry wants to add anything to it.
Yes, Larry. Larry, what's your last name again? Sorry. Clemens, how do you spell that?
CLEMENTS. I just reinforce what Teresa said, and I just, if you can't get it done, I just hope we can come with some sort of move it over a little bit, put some better temporary barricades, do something to get us through the winter. I don't know, they usually need to work all winter. I just, I want to get it done right, obviously, but I want to keep the road open for fuel trucks and, winter's coming up. I don't want my house to freeze up because the fuel truck refuses to pass it.
Has the fuel truck said that, Larry? that they're not, or have you?
Not my company, not me, but I had talked to
Yeah.
Andy and he said they had refused to
Okay.
go on his driveway.
Yeah.
And maybe they have changed their mind. I don't know, but I have the same company.
Well, that's, the hole is right at, basically at
Yeah,
the bottom of
They
his
might be willing
driveway.
to come to my house, but not come to his house. I don't know.
I think.
Nobody refused. I don't want them to refuse. And I'm also
Isn't your
worried.
house after the spot?
Yeah.
Everyone's house is
Yeah.
after
No,
the spot.
so Andy's driveway
It's
is
right at-
right at where it is,
So when the truck comes down, it's.
right there.
I see,
To get
yeah.
that out.
I also worry about, and I haven't looked into it, and, I'm sure my homeowner's insurance wouldn't be impressed that I'm
No, no.
living on the other side of a massive hole, and
Yeah.
and maybe the fire truck will refuse to come down if we have a fire or whatever, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eric, what's there now for barricades?
This comes.
Maybe it's time we put something
Mhm.
concrete, whether it be Jersey barriers or waste blocks or
Mhm.
probably Jersey barriers might be the better, just because they're longer. I think that's from a safety perspective, Liz, that would be at least my recommendation that
Okay,
it helps at least contain the traveling public.
right.
Makes
Makes it like a one-way. It probably already is
Well,
only
kinda,
one-way.
yeah.
It's a one-way
Yeah.
right now.
Continue monitoring until we, cause we wanna make sure that it's not going anywhere. Has there been movement?
Not that I can
Okay.
tell.
Yeah, so I would say at least getting some Jersey barriers from a safety perspective. It's a whole, it's a big, I've looked at it.
Regarding, Eric and Jared and I both had a conversation with Jared this week and followed up with conversations with Isabella, who's our state rep, calling, trying to get her help, like
Yeah.
get the state to move A&R for us.
Yeah.
That, I've explained to her that heat trucks and no emergency vehicles and how long this has been going on, and they understand, while your road is the most important, we've had all sorts.
Oh, I get that, but this is a real safety issue as
Mhm.
far as driving.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I have, and this kind of leads us, does anyone want to, because I would sort of like now go into the culvert deficiency problem, which kind of leads to this, unless, Matt, do you live on that road too, or
No,
not?
no, no, I'm here for the budget.
Okay. Did everyone say what they wanted to say about the road? I don't wanna stop anyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I think that, so we're having a meeting on the tenth with, Dirt Tech to discuss the deficiencies in all the culverts and, that were put in the last couple of months. And they range from sort of bigger deals to smaller deals, and Paul was, gracious enough to pull together a report, that we sent to Dirt Tech. I called them and told them this was coming and what had happened. And Paul has put together a list of, what he thinks are, responsibilities of Dirt Tech, and then what he thinks might be responsibilities of both the town and Dirt Tech, and then what might be just town responsibilities. And those tend to be sort of the safety, features of like, areas that might require guardrails or something like that. So the public's invited to that. That's Monday, the 10th at 9 o'clock here at the town hall. And Dirt Tech will be there. But I think that, what has, and I don't know the answer to this, but something that has concerned to me is that while these culverts were being put in, there's A&R has noted that for all of the culverts that we put in, we didn't have pre-construction meetings with them. And that Dirt Tech had not submitted a water management plan, which I understand from maybe you, Paul, or something, that a water management plan is like, how are they gonna deal with their machines in the rivers, right? When they're like, how are they gonna divert the water while they're working on the repaired area, right? So that's like a water management plan. It's not that I don't think that Dirt Tech didn't follow a water management plan, they just didn't submit it to A&R. And so my question is, how did it come to that A&R knew we were doing these culverts, and why they didn't at the first one say, you need to be submitting a water management plan and you need to be having a pre-construction meeting? And I mean, I don't know this stuff. I don't see these things. I have no idea what's supposed to happen. And so to me, I felt like, oh, well, it's not like this was a surprise that Middlesex had floods and that we're putting box culverts in. And I know that people are overworked and they're dealing not just with Middlesex, they're dealing with lots of other towns in this issue. But I really feel like that somewhere in this whole process, one of the problems that happened was that we were a town of volunteers who don't know what we're doing. That's the bottom line. And, I don't know who's supposed to know these answers. I don't know if our road foreman, right? His job isn't to build roads, right? I mean, his job is to have some understanding of it, but his job, Dirt Tech's website says, we're like the leads in environmental, road building. They should know this too, right? So, and we're paying them millions of dollars. And so, that the fact that it comes out, to us and then we have this delay, in your road, there's a lot of, I think, bureaucracy with these projects. And I, as a select board chair, certainly do not feel equipped or knowledgeable enough to have any idea how this is supposed to shake out. Zara's done the best job that she can do with the money part of FEMA, but again, she's not an engineer either, right? She's not knowing what size culverts to use and things like that. And so, if I were to do this over again, I would hire a project manager to take care of this and deal with this, because it's somewhere things didn't happen that should have happened. And I don't know where
I think
where
it's
and
the
when
con- I
that
think it's the
sort of-
contractor, I mean.
But I don't know. I
It
mean,
would be helpful too if the state had a checklist of, oh, your roads got blown apart. Here's the things you need to do, or no, or
yeah,
check off your checklist on.
yes, Matt.
And sorry, I just don't understand what the problem is. I understand A and R's thing, these things were done.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it now?
Oh, well, so there are things that need to get done, like the size, for example, one of the big things that came out of this was that the size of the stone wasn't the proper size. Now, I was mentioning this to someone, they were like, well, was there even stone available at that size? Like, maybe there, I don't know. But like, so those are things that have to change because the water can't get
That
through.
part I understood.
Yeah.
We were talking about this water plan and the.
Yeah.
Like this paperwork part and stuff. Why does it matter that that stuff wasn't done if this work was already completed?
And I'm gonna talk this.
No, go right ahead.
And the easy answer is a lot of these things were part of the permitting, what was permitted and what was designed and approved through that engineer design. So certain things are required for aquatic passage and things like that.
Yep.
These are all engineered and the permitting is based off of an approved plan. Certain specifications, materials, installation, elevations, all of those things that were approved, so.
Yeah, I guess one last follow-up. And so is the church X saying, coming back and saying, well, it wasn't our job to.
We don't know.
We don't
Yeah.
gone that far, we're,
That'll be.
our approach will be a
That seems-
collaborative effort. We have some quite frankly, I believe we have some ownership of, Eric has been spread very thin. No, he's not supposed to be, we've never expected him to have the knowledge to manage these types of projects at the same time that he's doing the job that we hired him to do.
Right.
And we as a town, in all of our history, have never had this level of work done in a consecutive block of time.
Right.
So.
Right. So, and I can't believe that we're the only town that's gonna run into this, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead,
I'd
Ben.
like to share my experience with this,
Yes.
because I've been doing stream alteration work in Vermont since the early eighties. And it's rare that an engineer does a design for this work. Mostly it has been historically, the stream alteration engineer would come out and meet with a road foreman or a farmer or a contractor. And they would agree what is gonna get done in the field. Somebody would draw a sketch on a napkin and the project would get done. That would be a pre-construction meeting. That would be an approved design and that would get done. Since July of 2025, this has all changed. And
Is there a reason why it changed?
I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know what it is. But nothing on paper has changed. The
Nothing on paper.
laws haven't changed, the rules haven't changed, but the behavior of the stream alteration people, not all of them, but it has changed.
Yes, Zara.
And I have seen that with both FEMA and the state as well, whereas going through the 2023 floods, the spreadsheets and what they wanted from us was completely different. In 2024, all of a sudden, we're being offered A&E money, which we weren't offered in 2023 and could have benefited from. This was architecture and engineering, to get it paid for professionals to get what we needed. And I mean, just today I was presented with new paperwork to close out roads at 100% that we have not had to do up until.
Yep.
So it's seems to be a ever-changing process, keeping up with it.
Yes. So anyway, I just wanna say, Dorinda, I hear you, I hear your frustration. I wish that we were better at this. And
I'm not
I
putting a
don't-
blame on you guys.
No, I
I'm just saying, I'll throw this out there. I don't know if it's worth could I write a letter to the governor as a homeowner on that road? Would that add fuel to the fire or would that?
I don't see anything
I would-
wrong with it.
I don't, yeah, with your representative, sure,
The state should have project coordinators that are coming out and dealing
right.
on the road with FEMA and ANR and the state, They absolutely should have one project coordinator that just kind of comes out and checks up on our projects.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of it for right now is, at least on the Old Brook Road side, is an administrative side of things where we are just not getting the things back fast enough that we
Right.
need to you can make modifications to our
Yep.
plan to move forward.
So Dorinda, in answer to your question, I think it would be worthwhile to, I know Ella Chapin is pretty good at responding to things, just to
Mhm.
put it on their
So-
radar.
Right to the
I would
representative.
say right to the representatives. I mean, the governor, whether or not he actually sees it, I don't know. Do you have an in with him? Sure.
I don't have an input,
Right.
but I don't, I mean, because I feel this is a real safety issue.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody put a culvert in wrong.
Right,
Okay,
right,
you
right.
don't
No,
like
I
how
know,
it's
It's
yeah.
not an
done.
aquatic creatures problem, it's a
Right.
human beings problem.
But this is somebody's gonna go in that ditch.
Yeah. Okay, in the interest of time, I just realized that I keep thinking it's 5 after 5 because that clock is never moving. But it's actually 5:40 and, oh, just quickly, changing a yield sign to a stop sign at the intersection of Molly Supple and Center East Hill Road.
Yep.
That was just a recommendation.
So that's something that,
Thanks, Dexter.
that's come up. All of you guys know the yield sign at Molly Supple, where it hits East Hill and Center Road. Basically, the thought being that everybody stops there anyway, and let's just make it a stop sign, and if people roll through it, we don't have anybody to bust them, but for safety's sake, can we change that from a yield to a stop?
Okay. I don't have a problem. I mean, I did just drive through it and I did yield because it is pretty, I mean, it's easy to see, but like. I
In
think
stick
that-
season,
Yeah, exactly, because it's stick season, it's not slippery and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know, do you, Paul?
I don't, other than the fact that I don't know if with going through the proper channels, if that leaves us as the town open to not properly warned signage change and things of that nature. It's been a yield at least since my tenure.
I don't
Do you
know,
think you-
Michelle Redmond told me that the town can decide whatever signs they want wherever they want them. But we can double
Yeah.
check
True.
that before we vote.
I mean, a lot of it, and I'll tell you how simple it is. There's supposed to be a speed limit sign within
Right,
a
and
certain
there
distance
isn't,
of
I
a
know.
turn. Now, if that limit sign is not there, I can go to court, fight my ticket and say, sign wasn't there at the appropriate intervals, and I'll win that. So I just don't want this to come back on the town, I guess. Yeah,
Exactly.
unfortunately, something like this can come back on the town, God forbid an accident or something that,
Right,
you know, this ideally would, avoid, minimize accidents
Right.
going this direction. So maybe. it would-
okay, so do we wanna maybe just double check with Michelle
Yeah.
that like we can, if you wouldn't mind doing that, Zara, and then we can bring it up in a next meeting? That there's no, we don't have to somehow, hold a public meeting about changing a
Right.
stop sign. That would be great, okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I sit over there?
Yes, you
My driver hat, we drive
Yes.
that road a lot.
Yeah.
Is there a problem we're trying to fix with that? Because the visibility is good year round, in my opinion. I mean, I drive
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
quite often and it
I think
seems
it's
like a
actually,
yield sign is effective there, in my opinion, as a driver. But if people have had problems or there's been crashes,
yeah,
I think.
Well, I
fixing
think
it-
the problem is, when people come around that, when they're coming around to get onto Molly Supple from Center Road, I think they do cut it pretty close.
Oh, it's.
I don't know, the thought was that it would be safer there, we just had,
No,
had
it
the
wouldn't
thing with
be
the
that
stop
direct.
sign on Center, just to have a little bit more space.
but you're saying it's a stop sign on the bottom of Molly Supple instead of the yield.
So that when people are coming from
It's a
Center.
yield sign on Molly Supple, so when people are coming from Center and they go onto Molly Supple, they totally cut people off as they're going like this and not stopping. It
Well,
is,
who's
it's a safety
supposed-
measure.
Who are you hoping to stop?
Who am I hoping to stop?
Yeah, like in the car, people coming from Center Road taking a left on Molly Supple?
You would stop at Molly Supple Road before you decided to go left or right to avoid the people who are coming from Center and really cutting
I
off
see,
people who are yielding now.
Stop on Molly's Supple.
It would just be
like
a
other
change
people
of
are.
yield to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, so it's not that we're having a problem coming down Molly Supple,
Right.
it's that if we wanted to say, take a left turn. And,
that's not changed, it's just the car will have stopped.
Yeah,
So.
typically you would not yield to cross traffic, you would stop to cross
To cross
traffic.
traffic.
Merging into traffic, yield
right,
is more common than not.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha,
It's just been brought up as being a safer alternative
okay,
to have people stop there before they decide to go East Hill or
or
Center.
center,
With the speed that people come Center and turn onto Molly Supple.
yeah,
And then there's a lot of ruddiness there at small, as you're trying to yield, so you tend to jet out maybe
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
farther and.
okay,
One last note about signs, Sam over there, Sam.
sorry.
Eric left before I was able to ask him, but I did see that a bridge out, road closed sign has been ordered. I don't know if it's been put up or I was gonna ask Eric, but I just wanted you to know that I did see it in the orders, so
Awesome.
that will be.
Yeah,
He was,
if it
I
hasn't.
was picking it
He
up.
was
when
supposed to put it up last week and he had told me that he got
And
busy
it's
and
so
that,
good because.
but it is.
People almost went over that.
Yeah, it's going up this
Last
week.
week, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're gonna drive in the stream.
Yeah, it's going up this week.
Okay, alrighty, so now we were at reviewing the budgets for the listers. Were you guys able to pull that together?
I started it, so
Okay.
I've got stuff you can look at, but I
Okay.
don't wanna talk to Sean today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at Thursday, and a lot of the.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna
training
go
for
as far as-
Okay.
I mean,
I wanna
it's
sit
gonna
with
stop it.
Stan and go over it before we, so I can give you what we got.
Okay.
That's gonna be out even.
Yeah, so, well, and then also, you guys sent me something, I haven't even had a chance to read it, so I wanna look at that too and do a comparison with it, okay? There you go.
I started handwriting after the email, Sam, read your email, I hadn't had a chance to read it yet.
Oh, thank you. It looks a little neater than last year, I'm starting to know what we're doing. And a lot of it I went by last year, so. Until I wanna review, I asked Cheryl for what we used for 2 years ago for
Yeah.
liquor salad for hours. And what we've got so far for this year. And then I can kind of try to crunch the numbers better. Cause that is just what we had for hours when I sat down with Sam and Annette last year. And then I looked at, got mine right here. Cause I know last year we messed up because of we had never did a budget before. I think Sarah turned in for it the year before. But for Nemrick, we had 52.5, and that was for 2 years for and then we had, it was 30,000 the year before. Net thought we should have 26.5. We agreed on 10,000. The budget ended up being 26.5, but they thought it was for the reappraisal. And so we had no support for Nemrick. So we've been really trying hard not to use Nemrick. And I think what we used them for this year was the one property we had recused ourselves, which was the French's. And we had them do the permit appraisal, the follow up. But otherwise, I don't think we've used them, have we at all?
Well, Sean's gonna need them.
Yeah, Sean can't get in. So he's gonna have to use them. I've been kind of pushing it off, trying to help him, but
Which line item is that, number 2 or number 3?
the new one is, let's see, Sandy, you're there, right?
So never lister.
The town support.
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, and that would be for anything that's, whether it be the treasurer, the lister, the clerk, anything that they need with the grand list.
Yeah,
With the treasurer's report, anything you guys would need for network support. And I don't know if that's too much, because like I said, most of the time I go to the DA first. Or I go to the training and we try to figure it out ourselves. But we did end up having, like right now, I'm trying to get in anything yet from home.
Okay.
He can do it here, but he can't do it from home. So I don't know, that might be kind of high, and I thought 10,000 was enough last year, and I don't think we've come close to that this year yet.
okay. The NEMRIC reappraisal budget,
That, last year, you ended up doing 26,500, and again, I think that's what we had went back and forth, that was supposed to be support. But the actual yearly would be 26,250. Cause if you times that by 4, it's 105,000.
and we still owe one more year of this.
I think it was 4 years total, I think we just started
It's always been-
last year. The first year, they didn't do anything, but you had already started paying.
We paid only the 1 month and then they just applied it to the July of this year.
But it was only 1 year that we paid so far, right?
I think we've, yeah.
Yeah,
It
so we
started this
still
July.
have 3 years paying members
No.
of the town wide road
2 years. It's only a 2-year contract,
2
was
years.
my understanding.
But I think they broke it down for 4 years for payment, cause it's 105,000 for the townwide grid appraisal. And that was the cheapest one we could get, was Nemrick.
Let's look at the, I'd be curious to look at the, other town, reports, just to be sure. For some reason, I feel like we've been paying this 26,250 more than once. This is the second time you're saying, right, that we're doing that?
Well, it was
Last year was
supposed,
the first time.
we were paying for
Right.
it, the original thing was we were paying for it, over 2 years, I thought. And that.
Yeah, that's
it
why
was-
last year when I did it, and I think you were treasurer last year, I had 52.5 for reappraisal.
For the whole project.
No, it was 105,000 for the whole project. It was gonna be
You've got the
52.5 for
contract.
each year.
Yeah, I don't have it right here with me.
No, but
I've got it.
have you got their contract? Then. The other thing is, we made only one payment to them last year because we were under the impression they were gonna be starting it last year. So we never continued to pay it. We only made one payment to them.
Oh,
And they supplied that first payment to July,
Yeah, and they applied it.
August, September, October.
Right.
I think.
This is it.
The last budget though, we decided that we were gonna keep continuing with this 26,250 because there's gonna be ongoing needs for having that reappraised. So you guys wanted to build that up in that account for the money market. So that's why we transferred it this year right out, but it raised the money market.
Yeah.
Because that contract's $100,000.
It is 107,000. They haven't.
here,
started.
here's the minutes from, June 6, 2023. Shelley said, considering the recent passage of H 480, a bill granting the state tax department oversight to conduct townwide property appraisals every 6 years. The listers consulted with the,
I can make a copy of it if you want.
No, she's got a
Oh,
copy.
here it
I
is.
thought it was only 2
Okay,
years.
yeah, I think it on email too.
well, let me just finish reading this. The listers consulted with the Vermont Property Evaluation and Review, who advised hiring a private appraising firm to conduct a townwide appraisal of Middlesex, since it will be some time before H 480 can be fully enacted. Shelley recommended approving NEMRIC to conduct the townwide appraisal, which will conclude in June 2026 and cost $105,000, not including new parcels added to the grand list in the interim. The town would start making payments to NEMRIC of $4,375 starting in July
You need 26 for support.
2024, and for 24 months, Dorinda said currently there is 52,000 in a town fund for
That's
townwide
fine.
appraisal.
Okay, that's how we got it.
And that the town roughly receives 9,000 from the state annually, so that makes up for the rest of the 105. So therefore, the board will have to include supplementing this cost in its upcoming budgets. So that means that if we had already 52,000 plus, and this was in 2023.
We've got like.
Oh, yeah, you can. we can-
Yeah, you might have already had some in.
We
Yeah,
had,
so
We didn't have money in.
so we were planning on funding it for 2 years because we already had.
We already had
52,
52 and we were getting 9,000 a
Right.
year.
And that might have been the confusion with the 26, so we had two figures of 26,000 in there. But again, we haven't used the support money at all.
Well, and I'm
Sorry.
confused on that because we already pay NEMRIC. I don't know what it's
That's
up to this
4,000
year.
something a month, right? Or
No,
42 something.
You got it right there?
Says here, 4375 starting
Yeah.
in July 2024 for 24 months.
24 months.
Right.
So you
So
must
we're
have,
still paying, we've been paying them already,
no,
no?
no. So what happened was, Sherry can tell you what happened.
The first contract that I was given had a different year on it. So then we started July 1st and we made the payment to them for
Clarify the year.
$4,375
For first of what?
for 2024.
Okay,
So then, this year, 25, sorry, that'd be 25 and then 26. So we held off on making payments until we got to the point where we needed them. They would never refund our money. They just kept it on the account.
oh, I remember this.
Yeah, so when the July bill came in, they acknowledged that they had already been paid for it because it had been paid for previously. So then, but we've been paying them now monthly $4,375. Last budget, you guys said that we're gonna continue to put money in that fund because the state is going to the requirements that we're gonna have to continuously do reappraisals. They want them what, every few years?
Is it 5?
Okay,
So
No, it's every,
Every 5 years? I don't remember.
that isn't every 2, I think it's every 5.
everybody.
here they're saying, in this minute, it says.
Yeah,
It's 5 now, but you thought that they were changing it to be like every
Yeah.
3 years.
It was 10. Okay,
I'll
can we do a couple of things? One, would you do me a favor and find out from Nemrick how much we owe them? I think that would be helpful to know how much we need to budget over this year and next year. And also knowing what the state gives us and what we have in our fund. And so I'd like to know what we have in our fund.
Yeah.
Do they have a balance?
No.
So we can find out what the balance is
Mhm.
and if we can find out what Dorinda is in, well, or, you know, what's in our account for the Nemrick.
And this is where the payments are, I gotta transfer the money over, but this is where, it gets paid from the reappraisal account already, so we're
Yes.
not paying it from our operating account, we're paying it from.
We're from the appraisal account. So I guess knowing what the balance is in the appraisal account. And then also knowing what we still owe Nemrick for this townwide appraisal, which is it still slated to end at the end of '26?
They're doing work now.
They are,
all
okay.
behind, we've got
27.
2 systems running right now. They're doing
Okay.
stuff behind the scenes. He had come in here and he'd show me what they're doing in the system. So right now we have our system we're running and they have theirs that they're doing in the background.
Okay,
The other thing with the townwide reappraisal is it does not include some of the stuff when he came in and he sat with me, such as like sending out postcards, we're gonna do to all the residents.
yeah,
We can have them do it for a charge, we can have Staples do it. Talking to Sam and Sean, cause she's real good with computers, he is, it's a matter of them Emery stickers to 900 residents, getting the like the serrated cards at Staples. And he showed me, kind of did me a template, and I saved it, so we've got the template. And just print that out and send it to them when they're ready to, they hit the. ground
basically
running.
saying their people are
Yeah,
gonna
they'll
come
come
by.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
And
I
are
think
they
that
doing
we're
it
gonna do that and
alphabetically?
not have to pay somebody to do it.
Look at Waterbury, they got a pretty good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
they must not be doing it alphabetically, they must be doing it by region.
Yeah.
We just got a great list from Keith Cubbin about, to do, because we're doing through the municipal planning grant that gives just the residents of Middlesex, so that you're not like reaching out to
Oh,
people
it's
who
time for
don't
that.
need, so we could probably share that with you.
Well,
The addresses
last
and
year,
stuff.
that's the same did with permits.
Okay,
Anybody that had the open permit, we just did a blanket that
okay.
we're coming around. Let us know if you're finished, let us know where you're at, so we can get the percentage, and it was bam, it was just so much
Perfect.
easier. The other thing with them, let me think, I lost my train of thought here. That they had told me, and it's unfortunate, I didn't know this before, that they're involved in mapping, we're still, and Brian, what's his name, White?
Yeah,
Is so busy,
yeah, I know.
she sent him everything, things he needs for mapping, he just hasn't got to it. When Sarah left and did all the digitized stuff, Sam sent it to him, sent him the stuff that, cause we're way behind since 2017. Never also does that, so I'm thinking almost when we get caught up, it's something to keep in the back of our mind. They charge so much and then they'll maintain it. Since they run our system and everything, I mean, it's a no-brainer to have them do it.
Okay.
If it depends on the cost, I mean, if it's the same thing at BCGI, most people have their own person that does that. And if we can have them do that, the same thing with the Lister card, I think East Montpelier is one that does it, and some of the other small towns. They have it on the website that you can go in and look at it, the A&R map, the parcel viewer, and the Lister card is right there, that they don't have to call anybody, they can go in, they can look at it and print it out themselves, the realtor or whatever.
Great.
They charge a one-time fee and then it's so much to update it. When we update the grand list, they grab it and they update it for us. It just saves a lot of lister hours, clerk hours, so it just takes some of that away.
Yep.
So that's something I have to think about it. I didn't put any of that in there.
Yeah.
Again, I wanna talk to Sam and Sean Thursday.
Okay,
Last thing for the budget, and this is a new law, I think I talked to you about it, and I knew it was coming from some of the training. Is it's mandatory January 1st. Any voted lister has 1 year to get certified, or else they can't be a lister.
okay,
Assessor has stricter qualifications. And I put the memo, we asked them to send a memo from
Okay,
the
yeah.
state. that's the qualifications, that you have to have, whether you're a lister or an assessor. I sent the list to Sean, and I'm working with him to get him up to date as fast as we can. Sam and I already have the assessor one, so we're covered, but, they're gonna be very strict on that.
Till January 1st of this year.
Of 2026, yeah, we knew it was coming before they gave us this big list. So I think I need 1 or 2 classes for assessor too, because I didn't know, I knew it was coming,
Mhm.
but they broke it out, which is a little bit better. But that's coming.
Folks, I'm afraid to say we have to temporarily adjourn this meeting so that we can do the Board of Abatement meeting. We're just gonna reopen our select board meeting at 6:24 to finish up a couple of things. Thank you guys for coming on. Alrighty, so we are back to our regularly scheduled select board meeting. And there's just a couple of
Battery's
things.
dead, Chris. Oh, it's burning?
So there's a couple of things here,
Might wanna keep it down though for a new battery,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah, it hasn't moved, has Fred fixed it prior to this meeting.
Also, I have a clock somewhere, so.
okay, for
Thank
some
you.
reason. I don't know why this is happening, because I have OneDrive.
Thanks, Jared.
I thought I put on the agenda, but I don't have it here, so we may need to make a, unless I printed out an old version of the agenda. I think we might have an older version of the agenda. Let me
Yeah,
see.
This came off the email that you sent.
The new heating
Okay.
system I noticed said not to exceed, and then there's no number
Yeah,
attached to it. I think we said 15,000.
we did, but I have a different agenda. Why does this happen to me?
It just says not to exceed, this 15,000 is just left off.
I know, but,
On the next page.
I have an agenda, I have a different agenda that, I might have sent the wrong one or something.
Well, yeah, that's not the one we got.
Right, because I have this appointing Sage Rami and Katie Farber as Conservation Committee members per the committee's approval.
No, I don't have that on.
Okay, is that the one I posted on, Front Porch Forum? That was the original one that I sent out to say to people. So what I end up doing is sort of two things. I send out a preliminary agenda. And then I ask people if they need anything added to it, and then people will come back to me, and then I send out a second one that then I post on Front Porch Forum. So we're gonna just use the second one that is the official one, which is reviewing the budgets from the Planning Commission and Conservation Commission, no action. And so we did get, from,
What was the date that you posted?
I think I posted that Friday,
This is from the 3rd. That's
there's today's the third.
the latest agenda you sent was from the 3rd today. The not to exceed blank.
Not to see blank, that's so weird, because I have OneDrive that saves things.
Sure.
Did I forward it maybe, like the old one or something?
Trying to find it.
What did I put on Front Porch Forums?
The last
The
one.
last one I have is 10/27 from water.
They could have just sent over.
Yeah, all these are.
That's special select board meetings.
That's the minutes, I sent those.
Should be said. Oh, the document is 11, it was sent on the 29th.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was my first one, and then, yeah, so I did send you on the 29th. That's the preliminary one that I talk about, and then I ask people for feedback. And then I get feedback, and so I never sent you then
All right, so yeah.
the updated one, but I think it was sent on Front Porch Forum.
Yeah.
And does it say
you
that,
do?
does it have them?
Says approving purchase of the new system in town hall.
Okay, so that's the agenda we're going, right? Okay, so, so the first thing though, before we do that, is reviewing the budgets from the Planning Commission and Conservation Commission, no action. And we don't have, and actually, I don't think we actually do this today, but, Brittany, you might have a better sense of that. Considering a special article for 5,000 for the Conservation Commission, you know
So
how,
what we need to do there is they're asking your permission to put it on as a special
Right.
article, which the select board can do.
right,
So that's more or less just giving you a heads up, they want to separate from.
right, so there's two ways to get special articles, one is that the select board can make that decision, and then the other way is that they get 70 signatures, that they go around and get the signatures for. And so, in the past, we have done this as a special article where they don't have to go and get signatures. I don't know that we have to decide that tonight, but we have to decide it relatively soon because they have to go out and get their,
I'd make the motion to just have us decide and not have them get the 70 signatures.
to put it as a special article.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And that is for what? Again,
Conservation Commission.
yeah, for the Conservation Commission, in the past, they would do it like they set money aside for bigger projects. And so once they get like a lump sum of money, they're able to do something with that money, and so in the past, we've stopped in the last couple of years because we were running out of money. But I think they're asking us to do that again. And so, and otherwise, their budget is really small. Let's see.
Is there a copy
I
of
was just saying,
these things? Because
Yeah, I'll give these to you. The planning. No, here we go. They're requesting $500 for their operating budget. And here it says. The Conservation Commission requests $500 for their operating budget. I will not be at the meeting. In the past, the Conservation Commission has also requested $5,000. And then they said 2,500 2 years ago for the Conservation Commission Reserve Fund. So remember how we bought the town property? That was, they leveraged that money and then grant money to be able to buy that. So that's why they asked for this.
so they're
reserve fund.
essentially level funding.
This request was a special article during town meeting. The select board years ago decided that Conservation Commission did not have to submit a petition for this request. Last year, the select board denied our $5,000 request. We would like to request $5,000 again this year to be added as a special article. If the select board denies that request, the CC wants to know if they can submit a petition with signatures asking for money. Well, they don't have to ask us that, they could just do that, but your suggestion is that we just, make a motion to put them as a special article?
Yeah, because quite frankly, that's kind of how things are going. I mean, we're in the budget committee looking to put $100,000 aside, just in case fund for this flooding that happens every year. I was just on the phone with Keith Cubbin the other day saying, if we do that, hopefully don't get whacked for another 20 years, we might have enough to actually cover some of the damages.
Anyway, so we could make that decision now because it is on the agenda as a possible action.
And what was the reason last year the board?
Because
decided
we were
not to?
we just
We
were
were
looking
$10
for ways
million
to
in
cut
debt.
money.
well, we did.
That didn't even fit, bro.
Like
Just like, I've just had to put roads off, from 2023 to July to be fixed by July.
Well, the year before it was 2,500 though,
Yes,
the
she
year
said
that just
in
ended.
previous years, it was 5,000. For
Yeah.
many years, it was 5,000. That's how they bought, I think they had ended up having 50,000 or something that they used towards the purchase of the town property. They don't have anything right now in.
Stocking some money in way.
Well, yeah, that's right. I don't think they have any intentions right now of anything in particular, but they need to start building their coffers.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Larry.
I think you started to say it, but they don't, what is their balance now in their fund like that? Is it zero?
Money in it.
Yeah, they have it, I couldn't tell them off the top of my head.
Yeah,
All right.
they have money in their fund.
Okay, they do have some money in their fund, but I don't think it's in the 20,000s or anything like that, do you?
I don't know, I haven't been doing. that.
Okay, so we'd have to check Larry to know. We
Okay,
have no
thanks.
idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely not 100,000. Because when did we buy that land? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? I don't even remember.
Anyway.
Yeah. Right, and then they've used it for, special things around the land, trail building, stuff like that, I think. Okay,
I just make the motion to do that because 70, it's a lot, it's the holidays, I think. It's fine to put that money aside, it's not that much, and I'd like to like move forward.
okay, is there a second to that request?
So, but you're saying this is, we're allowing it as a special article, not
Yeah,
just.
it's not on the budget, it's in a special.
Not in the budget, just a special article.
They're trying to build funds, right, to do.
Right,
some
but
conservation.
Voters will have to vote on this. It's a.
Yeah,
Right.
as opposed to it being in the budget, but
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Is there a second on that? Anyone?
I'll second it.
Okay, Larry seconds it. All right, all those in favor of adding it as a special article for $5,000 from the, for the planning, the Conservation Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, are those opposed?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, so Paul's gonna abstain. All right, so, do you know how to do that? I don't. Put a special article on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, I'm glad you guys know. Okay, so then the other budget is, and I'll give these to you, Dorinda. Is for the planning commission. And that is $1,200 for mail drop. I think that's like one mailing or something. $150 for printing and $3,500 for consulting and mapping. For a total of $4,850. And that was a placeholder, and she said it wasn't entirely final, but it gives us a sense that it's about $5,000 for the, there's no voting, we're just, what's happening right now is that Dorinda is building a budget in an Excel spreadsheet. And then in December, we will be going through it and with a fine tooth comb and saying, okay, let's look at each line item. So this is what's happening right now. Okay, and the reason we voted on that other thing is because that's a special article. Okay, so there's that, and then, the other thing is from Adrian was, approving the appointment, or actually it's appointing Sage Romy, I think I'm saying that correct, if not Sage, I apologize, and Katie Farber as conservation committee members per the committee's approval. So the committee, the conservation committee has accepted the letters of interest from Katie Farber and Sage Romy, who are interested in serving on the conservation committee, and we as a select board need to formally approve them. So I'll just quickly read Sage's, which is from Wednesday, October 8th. I'm writing to express interest in joining the Middlesex Conservation Commission. I moved to Middlesex a year ago and would like to be more involved in my town. Thank you, Sage. I have had some involvement in the Trails Committee going out and around the town forest, and I'm interested to learn more about forest management as well as being involved in the other realms of the Conservation Committee. My experience serving on committees is limited, though I do my best to stay informed and involved in local, state, and national governments. I have experience volunteering at community events in Vermont and in other communities I've called home, and have professional experience as a trail builder in Alaska. I'd be grateful to learn more about the operations of the town and the commission and to share my experience as a land steward and trail builder. Thank you for your consideration, Sage. Katie's is, Dear Conservation Commission, I would like to serve on the commission. I have a long history and background in the natural sciences and environmental education. My undergraduate degree is in natural resources, recreation, and tourism, and I worked as an environmental educator before earning my master's degree and becoming a teacher in Middlesex. Currently, I work as a co-director of teaching and learning at the Institute for the Environment and as an assistant professor at St. Michael's College. I am very interested in conserving our natural resources here in Middlesex and providing opportunities for our citizens to spend time outdoors. Thank you, Katie Farber. Is there a motion to approve these two wonderful volunteers who would like to serve on the commission?
I make the motion.
There's a second. Paul seconds it, and all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for your service, Sage and Katie, and welcome to the Conservation Commission. Okay, we now have Lowry Sharp here, who is here to just talk about what's happening with the purchase of the new heating system, not to exceed $15,000 in the event it breaks. That's a really bad, this is a bad.
And it also doesn't say where, is that for here?
Well, yeah, so on this one it does.
Oh, on
It
that one
says,
it does.
approving the purchase of a new heating system for town hall not to exceed 15,000, but I think it's gonna be more like 8,000, but I put in 15 to be on the safe side. In the event the current system fails during the winter and is not repairable. Zara has her hand raised.
Just to remind everybody, we had a gentleman here and Laurie, and they gave us 3 different
Quotes.
distinct quotes. And
But those included heat pumps, and this is not a heat pump.
correct, and that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
point out. And
Okay.
so this is just about, in case this thing breaks, we can call the guy and have him come ASAP without having to have a
Meeting.
30 days
Okay.
without a meeting.
So Larry's gonna update us on why he thinks that this is sort of the most logical and affordable step, and he'll also update us on the town hall weatherization project that's ongoing. So Larry, would you like to speak?
Sure, thank you. And I'm not an expert on what the best solution here is, so it's more of a recommendation, given that there's, this new buildings committee talking about options outside of the town hall. So it's just seems prudent to invest less in this building. And it might also be prudent to have somebody look at the furnace in its current state and say, yeah, this could well last another couple of years, or no, it's not going to last a couple of years. So we could take that on if you think that is a good idea. So the proposals that we came with over the summer were to do a more advanced system that was going to last a long time, but the investment was $30,000+. And so to just replace the existing furnace with an in-kind propane furnace would be, as Liz said, probably somewhere under 10. And so that would be less of an investment in a building that we may not keep as a town. So in the good news department, Randy Drury is going to finish insulating the attic in the next week. So the volunteer work was done over the last week of air sealing the entire attic area so that no more air is leaking up from below. So there's already a measurable improvement to the building. But Randy's going to volunteer his time and equipment to blow in 2 feet of cellulose, and that's going to make a huge difference. So we would definitely want to have an HVAC person who's going to install a new furnace redo a calculation of what does the building actually need for energy. So he or she could install a smaller unit because it now needs less energy, right? And so one of the contractors that we had come out and provide a quote did a calculation, and so I'll ask him to redo that once the work is done next week. And hopefully it'll result in a smaller furnace. So we're not doing anything around the foundation perimeter this year. So we'll look into insulating the foundation in the spring. So as of now, for just doing the attic, we've spent about $7,700 on all the materials. All the labor was volunteer. It was about half structural to shore up the roof with lumber, and half for all the air sealing and insulation. And that building has traditionally or historically used about 1,200 gallons of propane a year. So we'll be looking at measuring that and seeing how much it reduces.
And how many volunteers did you have, Mr. Sharp?
We had about a dozen. I didn't even count. I can send you the whole list of names. Great group of people. Put in a lot of hours.
It's nice, people volunteered to work, but some people brought food to help out. So it was I think a really nice, effort, and, there were a couple of, newcomers, a couple of engineers, by trade, and, so it was helpful. Construction workers by trade. I think Kevin Thompson really did a lot of work. He spent a lot of time here, so thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
For coming in and volunteering your time to help, and thank you to Randy for volunteering his time. And you will need a few more volunteers to help Randy, is that?
Yeah, and I put the word out and we've actually got more people willing to help
Great.
than we really need. So if you have other tasks around the building that we can do on Sunday, let me know.
I think these walls could use painting.
Liz, one thing I wanted to, if we could just backtrack to when Larry is talking about, having the furnace assessed.
Yeah,
I think it's at least worth doing that. Only in my opinion, if they say, hey, it may not make the winter, I would be for pushing that now before we get into 10 below weather.
right,
If he's like, you're probably good for a couple seasons, well, then we'll go to more of the standby route.
okay,
But if that person says it doesn't look like that, preferably that person
Yeah.
is not the one we would choose to install it, so there's no incentive for
Right.
that company or person.
right.
Yeah,
I think it would be worthwhile too, Lowry, to ask to get it cleaned, right? I don't know
Filters
who
and-
does all that. I mean, whose job is that? Is that the town clerk's job?
No.
I mean, it's not like we have a facilities manager.
No, you would just usually you call your fuel supplier.
Right.
And they have people. who
And they
help do
have the
that.
team that comes in.
Right, I
The
know, but when
boards.
they say you, like,
Oh,
usually it's the facilities manager, which we don't have.
right.
And so I think Sarah, traditionally did that probably. But Lowry, it sounds like you would be willing to take that on, and kind of kill two birds with one stone, have them clean the filters and whatnot, but then also just take a look at it.
his reaction is not.
It
Sure.
looks.
You hold your excitement so well.
I'm trying to
Larry,
contain
Bill
myself.
Price speaking. Is it Larry? Laurie, the use of waiting is was mentioned that if we don't do an estimate or at least evaluate the conditions and they could sign a specific unit for the heating, get it ready, because in the same point is they may not have it stored up, or you can't get a part, they gotta order the furnace. You got maybe a month of cold weather in the winter time with no heat at all. So I'm supporting the fact that looking into it, but also finding what you need so you're ready to consider if it does break, your supplier and installer beforehand.
Yeah, I think that's an
Right.
important question to ask these potential contractors who would provide it. If what is the lead time?
Lead time on stuff, yeah.
So the other thing too that we sort of explored, or Lowry explored, but it sounded like it wasn't financially feasible, would be, so there were, some of these buyouts have some new heating systems in them, but moving them seemed to be really time, like that would be costly to actually disassemble them.
Retrofit into what we
Exactly.
need.
I
Yeah.
don't have enough BTUs. It was only Larry Martin that had the heat system.
You said somebody else did.
138, what was the
The Martin. Oh,
No, there was Larry Martin, but then there's also, I thought you said that there was a new heating system in,
was it 147 or
the
138?
person next to Larry Martin, that cute little
Colin.
house.
Yeah, the one that's cute as a button.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know who those people are, I forget who they are.
Paul-
But you know what?
Oh, the Pollins, right, the Pollins.
But I think they have an oil tank.
Oh, they had oil,
outside.
okay, sorry, I can't
Oil
hear.
burner, not a.
Stop.
That was exactly it. They have an oil tank.
They have an oil burner.
Okay, so yeah, all right, so never mind, but anyway, that was expensive, right? Lowry,
Oh yeah, getting a different type of unit, whether it's oil or
Yeah,
a boiler instead of a propane furnace, you're talking about retrofits and now you're
No.
talking more money.
Yeah,
Plus,
okay.
plus you're talking
Parts.
about not having a warranty anymore from the manufacturer potentially.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I guess we will task you with having someone come into the town and look at that, propane boiler and clean
Furnace.
up. Yeah, the propane furnace. Yeah. Oh, yes, Brenda.
I have a question. Should this be something that we put into next year's budget as a placeholder or just?
No, I
keep it
think
the
we
same?
need, I think if we're gonna lose heat this winter, it needs to be done.
Right, but what if it doesn't and he says it's not gonna go a year?
Oh.
Should I make a
Yeah.
note to put
Yes, I think so.
$9,000 in?
I'm wondering that, is that
Because with the fit facilities like our.
That isn't gonna happen that fast.
it's gonna take years to.
Right, well, let's see what he has to
Yeah.
say, cause if he says we've got another 2 years, then no. If it
No,
says,
but if it
yes,
says
in
that-
1 year, then
Yes.
yes.
So I'll put furnace question
I
mark.
put a first
To
question
be
mark
determined.
and also, yeah, sorry.
I also
Okay.
wanted to commend Zara for pushing for 3 quotes on the building, the insulation materials. Because they were pretty darn different. $800 less on just like $6,000 in materials
Good.
from
Right.
one lumberyard to another.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that was great. And this money's coming from the building fund. That's what, that I was talking with.
Right, I just
Sure.
didn't know if you wanted to budget for it or take it out of the building fund
Yeah.
if it happens next year.
The answer
Yeah.
is we don't know yet.
Of
course.
TBD, everybody. All righty.
Everything else.
So, all right, so thank you for that update. And
Sorry, just
Yeah.
one more aspect of it is the radon mitigation air filtration.
oh, right,
So
yes, definitely want to do that.
right, so I've finally gotten the names of people who might be able to install a standalone ventilation unit that's just for downstairs.
Right, because
Wow.
those bigger quotes included ventilation for the radon.
Right.
So without that,
You
it's
need that.
different. We need to do that. So yes,
Yeah.
okay,
So
that would be great.
I think that's gonna be around $2,000.
Okay,
So
we
I'll
will take that
update
from
you
the.
on that.
Have
Yeah,
you
okay.
tested, Laurie, have you tested for radon already?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a device in there.
Yes, we've done it.
It's in the vault. Okay, so just, we have the orders, is that right? Are there orders? Yeah,
Yep, right here.
okay, and then, thank you, Lowry. And then just, I wanted to mention that we had a correspondence, email concern from Linda Jackson requesting a guardrail on Center Road culvert by Zidane.
Yeah,
Just put that in we know that people are, worried about that, and so that is something that we're probably considering,
yeah,
It's something we definitely have to
Yes.
do once the culvert itself is
Right.
fixed.
yeah.
And then I just also want to give an update that Zara and I went to the Ridge Road site for the previous buyout from Irene, and cleaned up, we did our green up day, in October, and we cleaned up the campsite. And there was
Diapers?
lots of dirty things there. And it's completely clean now. We also, and then Eric picked it up, and.
As well as the things on.
Let's not talk about that, well, we could, but yeah. We just want people to know that it's not the town's responsibility to pick up your own garbage. So please don't leave your garbage on the side of the road.
Can we barricade that off so people can't?
Well,
go in and camp or
Not really, I mean, we could, but I don't know how. We could maybe put up a,
Just some block.
You're-
a
did
block.
that
I did put up, so we did do some,
Sign.
signs, some no trespassing
Mhm.
signs, which the police have said if we're gonna do any kind of like. Be able to lawfully remove someone, we have to have no trespassing signs, so. I don't think that they're following the rule to the T, cause they didn't have enough, and I don't really know exactly where our land is, but I put up 2 on that area. And then we put at least 1 or 2, depending on the size of the house on the buyout properties, we stapled them on. Because people are starting to go into the buyout properties too, and just kind of mess around in there. But, you know, I mean, again, if we don't have a police force. But just putting up the signs maybe will deter people. I'm not sure. So, but I kind of like that idea. If it happens again, I think we could consider putting up a concrete barricade. I just think that it's possible a farmer might use that, so we'd probably wanna just check with the farmer to make sure it's not like in their way, cause there's a.
I think our property is far enough down the road that it wouldn't impede that, knowing what I know about the road, but. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it could be where we put the sign. We put a stake.
Good idea, remind us again in March. If this comes up.
Yeah.
Right, cause they're not gonna be there for the winter.
No.
Remind us again in March or April, as things are melting. Cause that's a great idea.
Okay, is there anything other matter that comes before the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so health insurance, we have to make a decision right away, but if we're gonna change to MVP or stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield, because that's gotta start being done.
Oh, cause it's open enrollment.
Yeah, right.
Right,
So at the beginning of December, it has to be taken
okay.
care of.
I mean, I guess, what are your thoughts on that as an employee?
They're both pretty identical, and I think we
Okay.
figured out that the savings was like only like a couple grand, it wasn't that much of a savings, or maybe it was maybe it was a little more than that.
I'm concerned that Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to go bankrupt.
Well, I don't think that would necessarily mean that suddenly people are out of insurance. I think what would happen is another potential Blue Cross would come in and take over the plan. I think I've heard sort of rumblings of potentially Anthem, which is New Hampshire's Blue Cross,
I heard something.
taking over. So I think that's less of a concern. I think it's more about, is it easier for the employees to just keep what they have?
Or change. Let me get the highway, I would like to talk to the highway crew, and figure out what they want
Okay,
as well. I mean, I don't feel like it's just me to decide, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
yeah,
You know, MVP is more of a managed plan, so it's a little different,
mhm.
so.
And neither one has dental or vision with it? Is
That's
there
all
some
separate.
side plan?
You
Well,
can,
Cigna has dental.
well, you can, Cigna's not one of the
Oh,
options.
it's not one of our own.
No. Northeast Delta Dental has a plan and we can get it through VLCT, but we cannot. The town has to pick up the whole bill for the employee and. Instead of like having payroll deductions, we couldn't do that kind of thing. It would have to be the town that decided to pay for 100% of it.
And we still currently do the HSA.
Which is terrible. Our deductible right now is fixing to be $6,000 and we get $2,300 a year to cover that. And I just had to refinance my car to pay for my knee surgery. It's pretty steep, you know what I mean? And that wasn't, my understanding from always hearing it from Sarah and other people was that HSA was supposed to continuously move up and increase as well to cover our deductible. And it's not doing that.
There was a time when I was working for the town that it did.
It covered the entire deductible?
Yeah,
Yeah, it used to,
I
that
think
was.
those days are long.
no, absolutely. I'm just saying, I think I remember when.
Well, I think it was $1,500
Yeah,
deductible.
yeah,
Is
I
right.
think
I
it
think
was.
that's kind of
Right.
where it was way
Yeah.
back.
I mean, maybe we should consider putting in 50% of the deductible, which would be like,
We need to do something better for our employees in this town. We do.
I'm
Whether
trying
it's
to
that
think
or
like.
figuring out a dental and vision. I mean, I've never even heard of anybody offering healthcare without dental and vision. I don't understand that.
Envision goes through, VSP, Vermont, something, I can't remember what it is.
But this is open enrollment, period. We have 1 month, isn't it?
Yeah,
we
have
should-
to- I think it's
And it's-
December 1 or something
Right, and
like
so
that.
Or-
when is it?
December 4th.
December 4th.
December 4th. Okay, so one of the things is, that always is sort of this weird conundrum is that it changes mid-year when we didn't budget for it, right? And so that's something that, you know,
You
have
need
a
to
line
get
of
it.
credit, right? It's like. Maybe that's what we do is that we add that in because then we basically have 6 months, January through June, that we're covering something that we didn't get approved in the budget. So, I mean, I would be for, looking at increasing the deductible, our HSA contributions. In the grand scheme of things, we don't have that many employees, right?
No, and I don't think,
And
So
I don't think saving townspeople money by taking away benefits for employees is like a good. Look for us or.
so you're saying it's 6,000 for a family or what is it for
it's 6,000 per person.
per person?
Mhm.
Okay. And if you, do you have a family plan yourself or no?
Just me and Bob.
Yes,
So-
okay, so they have a couples plan and then they probably have,
A single, a couple, and a family.
and then a family, right? And we currently don't have anyone on a family plan, but that may change.
Right, Ben's wife's pregnant. I don't know what is.
Oh, yeah, but the kids are on, subsidized or.
Two-person and family plans remain, they just double, so it's not like it changes, it says like.
Okay,
So a two-person or family would be 12,000 as opposed to,
okay,
but is that, so they don't stack them then, that's individual ones. So-
Yeah, no, cause I got it. That's why I had to refinance my cars, because I got my husband's deductible too, so it's aggregate. So I
It
had
is
to pay,
aggregate.
yeah, I had to pay $10,400 out of pocket.
Oh, there it says aggregate, I read that column, tell me that.
okay. So, and we're giving 2,300 towards that aggregate.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think we should consider increasing it. And so I think what I would probably look at is the $6,000. Is it 12,000 or you said it was 10,000?
6,000 per person, so it's
6,000.
6,000 for single, and
Okay.
12,000 for family, for
Okay.
more
So
than that.
you had to cover the first 12,000 of your.
My knee surgery, I had to cover the 10,400 because it was a different deductible. Now they just increased it $600
Okay,
per person.
so,
It was 5,400.
and again, this would be a placeholder for now, we can always revisit it,
Right.
but.
Well, I think you just need to first make a decision, if you're gonna change plans, you gotta make the decision soon. We have until the end of December to plug in the budget number.
Right.
Of whatever you
Yeah,
decide
whatever
to
we
go
decide, right.
with.
Well, I would say that we could put it on for, next meeting, if you wanna talk to the guys. Because it has to happen fast.
Yeah, and I would look into what it would cost to get a vision and a dental as well.
Okay,
So we have that information.
Yeah,
okay. There's only a one option.
I just- we vote $37,000 to the library, we need health coverage for the
yeah,
6 people that we have employed here.
yeah. Okay,
That's a town decision.
It is a town decision. I don't think the town's gonna be like, no, Cheryl should pay $10,000 for her health care. I don't think anybody in this town would say that.
well, I
That
mean,
to change health plans is not a town decision because it's gonna go into the budget, whatever you guys decide to do. And they can't nitpick that one line item out of the budget, so
right.
it's,
And what we're talking about, well, there's two things we're talking about. We're talking about potentially changing the plan. And we're talking about, which
Increasing it.
does get put in the budget. If it's, more expensive or less expensive, that gets
Yeah.
adjusted in the budget, but then also increasing the HSA amount.
Well, the HSA could be used for dental and, I mean, so that's the other side, depending on what you do, they can use the HSA for that.
So if we know all the numbers,
You would have a better
An
idea.
educated decision.
My guess is though that we would probably see, and dental health is tied directly to other health. You would see more use of dental, people actually going to get their teeth cleaned when they had the insurance as
Right.
opposed to giving them money to say, hey, go get your teeth cleaned.
Right,
right? They'll use, even though, you know, you do end up paying stuff, it's not like it's free. Your teeth cleaning generally is, but you know, other things tend to cost money that you have to pay out of pocket, but I agree with you. I think that we should be offering dental to our employees. Thanks. Okay, so this meeting went on longer than I hoped. I'm sorry.
but we're having so much fun, we're talking about dental.
No.
And abatement.
I know. I have to get my tooth fixed tomorrow and it's got a little chip in it. That's gonna cost some. I do, but I still, this doesn't cover that kind of thing. Well, it covers part of it, but like not the whole thing.
I'll tell you a secret when it's done.
Okay, alrighty, so is there any other matter that comes before the board? Nay?
Nay.
Okay, so we call this meeting to a close at 7:04.